Today, we're looking at two incredible breakthroughs that are pushing AI way beyond being just a simple assistant. We're talking about a move towards a truly autonomous partner.
So let's start with the feeling I bet you've had. You're using one of these powerful AI tools, but it feels less like an assistant and more like a brand new intern. You have to approve the plan, then you have to approve the code, then you got to check the fixes. The second you turn your back, everything grinds to a halt.
So that's the big question, right? And today, we're going to look at two recent innovations that give us a real peek into that future. One tackles the thinking part of the problem, and the other one, well, it tackles the doing part.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the brain. We're looking at a powerful new foundational model called Range 1, and let me tell you, this thing is a serious heavyweight.
This is not just another model to hit the scene. It has an unbelievable pedigree. It was created by Essential AI, and the CEO is Ashish Vaswani, who was one of the first authors on the legendary paper, Attention is All You Need. Yeah, that paper. The one that introduced transformer architecture that powers pretty much every major AI you can think of from ChatGPT on down.
And here's what's so cool. Unlike a lot of the new models that are just tweaked versions of old ones, RNJ1 is a completely new architecture built from the ground up. It's designed for pure efficiency and power, and it's named after the brilliant mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan, which is just perfect.
Now, the design here is kind of deceptive. It looks simple, but it is brutally effective. See, a lot of models use what's called sliding window attention. They only look at a little piece of the puzzle at a time to save energy. Range 1? Nope. It uses full global attention in every single layer. That means it's looking at the entire problem all at once. It's like the difference between skimming a chapter summary and reading the whole book cover to cover. It's way more powerful and lets this model just punch way above its weight class.
And the numbers, well, the numbers don't lie. Just to put it in perspective, think of parameters in a model like brain cells. Usually, more means more power. But look at this. On these key benchmarks for really tough stuff like advanced math and generating code, this 8 billion parameter model is just crushing models with 13 billion parameters or even more. It's not a small win. It's a huge leap in efficiency. So benchmarks show it's lean and mean, but raw numbers, they don't tell the whole story. The real test is seeing how it handles messy, creative, complex problems out in the real world. And this is where it gets really impressive. Just check out some of these demos. It coded a fully animated interactive web page from just a simple prompt. Then it solved this ridiculously hard Lagrangian mechanics problem. And then it wrote the Python code to graph the solution. And, my personal favorite, it wrote a genuinely hilarious lecture transcript where its own creator argues about poetry with Ramanujan. I mean, come on. Okay, so we have this genius brain. Awesome, but that's only half the puzzle. How do we get away from being a constant babysitter? Well, that brings us to our second breakthrough, this incredible feature from a tool called Tracer, and it's called YOLO mode.
Think of it like this. It's basically a self-driving car for coding. You tell it your final destination, what you want to build, and it handles the entire trip. The planning, the coding, the bug fixing, all of it, without you needing to grab the steering wheel once.
This slide just nails the difference. On the left, that's the old way, a winding road filled with stop signs. You, the human, have to give the green light at every single stage. But on the right, that's the new way. It's just a straight shot to the finish line, a continuous pipeline that just keeps running until the job is done. And here's the magic behind it. It's this continuous 4-step loop. First, it auto-plans all the work. Then it auto-codes, handing tasks to the AI. Next, it auto-verifies everything to check for errors. And here's the crucial part. If it finds a bug, it kicks into auto-fix mode, trying new solutions and running the cycle again and again until the code is perfect. No human intervention required.
And we're not talking about small Hello World projects here. This was used to build out new features for a pretty complex crypto trading platform. It dove into an existing code base, added authentication, an admin dashboard, and a bunch of other stuff all on its own and without breaking anything that was already there.
So, let's put it all together. We have a genius thinker with Range 1, and we have a tireless doer with YOLO mode. What happens when you combine these two ideas? Well, you get a completely new way of getting work done.
See, these two things aren't competing with each other. They're the perfect partners. Range 1 is the thinker. It's the expert brain that has the deep intelligence to solve really hard problems. And YOLO mode is the doer, the relentless project manager that handles the entire workflow from beginning to end.
So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. We are really starting to see systems that can take a high-level goal from you and just run with it, all the way from the initial idea to the final product, without needing you to check in every 5 minutes.
This all sounds amazing, but, it does bring up a pretty big question. With a genius thinker and an autonomous doer working together, what does that actually mean for us? For anyone who builds software or manages technical teams?
It looks like a pretty major evolution. The developer's job starts to shift. It's less about hammering out individual lines of code and more about becoming a high-level architect. The most important skill isn't just writing the code anymore, it's defining the why and the what. It's about being the one who can break down a complex business problem into a clear set of goals for these autonomous agents to go and execute.
And that kind of leaves us with this final thought. As AI moves from a tool that we use to a partner that we direct, our job becomes less about the hands-on execution and so much more about the vision. It's a really interesting question, and it's one we're all going to be exploring as this tech keeps moving at this incredible speed. Thanks for joining me.